Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday evening was an absolute train wreck for Democrats. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. We will talk about the repercussions of the Fetterman-Oz debate. If you want to support this channel and my work, and you enjoy these live streams, your Patreon support is greatly, greatly appreciated. I do not have $20 million in venture capital funding like some people, and your support via Patreon is very, very appreciated and allows me to do these live streams. John Fetterman's most painful moments during the disastrous Dr. Oz debate. Newsweek. Fetterman's painful debate. Axios. You look, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone is talking about this for a reason. It's not, really quickly, before we get to the actual painful debate and moments that were just really uncomfortable to watch. It's not about the fact that Fetterman survived a physical ailment. That's not the issue here. Democrats, of course, think that here's what's really going on, okay? Democrats look at Trump as an absolute abomination. So anything, you have mashed potato brains, slurring speech, and doddering and, bumbling and stumbling about, okay, in the White House. So anyone is better than Trump or Republicans. You don't even have to be coherent. That's the way Democrats and media view politics in America. You don't even have to be all there upstairs. You don't have to even be coherent. You don't have to actually be able to communicate, and the prejudice and the bigoted response to this is, that there's not only veiled bigotry, but there's overt prejudice, and there's the R word I won't use just because the algorithm is all over the place. But you want to talk about the most prejudicial, the most biased, the most bigoted people. They're Democrats who say, well, have you seen Herschel Walker? Herschel Walker communicated his thoughts just fine. That's the way a lot of Southerners speak. It's just a regional difference between the liberal sensibilities of a Democrat in Connecticut or New York and the way a Southern person speaks. Of all backgrounds, by the way, but perhaps especially of one specific background, which Democrats and people on the left are just so prejudiced. They look at Herschel Walker, they say, well, it's the same thing as Fetterman. No, it's not. Herschel Walker communicated effectively, did not combine sentences and words together in this mosaic of incoherent thought. And Herschel Walker did very well in his debate. Okay, that's why he didn't need to debate a second time. He did very well. Herschel Walker is on his way to defeating Warnock in Georgia. Warnock, who evicts people as a pastor. Okay, you couldn't get greater hypocrisy than being a man of the Lord and then evicting people onto the street. And he then pocketed money from the state for his real estate. But the issue, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand the philosophy here. It's not just, we'll get to Fetterman, we'll get to Oz, we'll get to the Senate polls that show that Republicans, if they just win Nevada and Pennsylvania, they've won the Senate. Okay? That's according to 538. And, it's just basic math. So you need Georgia. The Democrats had to flip Pennsylvania. They ain't gonna do that now. Okay? They ain't gonna do that. If Fetterman defeats Oz, you are looking at a very bizarre display of democracy. Okay? But here's the understanding. Before we get to Fetterman's most painful moments during the disastrous debate, here's just one example. But this is very important because I want people to understand this. I was a lifelong Democrat. So here's I do support fracking, and I don't. I support fracking, and I stand and I do support fracking. So that's just one of the things he said. And it's like, if you actually transcribe the things that he stated, they're all over the place. And then the Democrats are saying, he showed courage. He could have, he defeated a Democrat in the primary. Why didn't he just pass the baton to the Democrat? Because like Lord of the Rings, there's a ring, there's this power. They need that power. Okay, he was all over the place also. Like, he does support fracking. He does want to ban fracking. Okay, but I do support fracking, and I don't. I don't. I support fracking, and I stand and I do support fracking. So he was all over the place. Herschel Walker was far more eloquent. I mean, to compare Herschel Walker to a man who has, serious issues communicating is overt prejudice. But see, that's the way Democrats roll. That's the way they roll. It's about sensibilities. It's about their sensibilities. If they don't feel it's prejudiced, then it's okay. And if you were a person of color who disagrees with them, there's no guidelines. There's no protocol. There's no civility there. I mean, they pontificate and preach, and these people like Kathy Hochul with Lee Zeldin. Zeldin said, hey, you haven't talked about locking anyone up. And she said, well, why is that so important to you? Why is that so important to you? They're so out of touch because they're so, you talk about privileged. They're entitled. Democratic politicians are entitled and they're privileged. Imagine if all of media props you up, even if you're not a good candidate. You're going to get help from Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert. You'll get positive write-ups from your local paper. You'll get a book deal, almost certainly, whether you win or lose. Fetterman will write a book deal. Fetterman will get a book deal and he'll write a book and he'll be like, oh yeah, the Republicans, they were so mean and they're horrible. Exactly, Colty 77. It's not a matter of these the Democratic Party is actually the party of true prejudice. You have people that if you don't obey their every whim, if you don't abide by their sensibilities, then you're a bad person. You're a bad human being. These are the same people who go up to strangers and say you're a bad human being. A human being has nothing to do with the words. Very little to do with you could say horrible things and bad things, and at a certain point there's always accountability. It's true. It's not just a matter of cancel, there is accountability to the words you say, but there's something called an apology. There's something called people can actually evolve from certain viewpoints, and a human being's worth is not correlated to the words that they utter. If that was the case, most Democratic politicians wouldn't be worth much at all. They're always back and forth. Oh, the climate, 200 million barrels of strategic petroleum reserves. You couldn't even get AOC and progressives to write a letter. They couldn't even write a letter condemning the military confrontation in Europe. I mean, can you get more weak and ineffective? Can you get more weak and ineffective? So even Axios is writing Fetterman's painful debate. I mean, this reverberated throughout this wasn't just about Pennsylvania. Laxalt will win in Nevada, and they'll get Nevada, and you don't need Pennsylvania, but if you get Nevada and Pennsylvania, you don't need Georgia. Georgia will be tough in my view, just because the Republican Party there is pretty much worthless. The Republican Party there will relish defeat. The Georgia Republicans enjoy defeat so much. It's just maybe they get some kind of physical, emotional response. Let's just say to be civil, they get some kind of maybe there's some kind of ecstasy they get. This bizarre, perverse happiness from losing. So Georgia Republicans, Pennsylvania Republicans are a little better, a lot better actually, but at least they have some fight in them. And the Arizona Republicans seem like they're coming together. They're actually, functioning as a political party. But here, I mean, multiple sources wondered why Fetterman agreed to debate when he clearly wasn't ready. Because he, sure, 7318, thank you. Everybody here, thank you so very much. No PhD Coyote, hello. Brian, hello. Eric, hello. Carl, hello. You have a situation where Democrats are entitled and privileged. They embody the very thing they claim to be against. They're so privileged all the time. They're so privileged and entitled. They have all of late night. They have late night talk shows. They have late night talk shows that they get free political advertising 24/7, and that's what really it's about. It took me like months to get to that actual statement. They have free political advertising every single night on Jimmy Kimmel. What is Jimmy Kimmel? There has to be a campaign finance law. I mean, you go ahead, you want to it's your First Amendment right as Jimmy Kimmel, fine. But don't tell me your producers and directors and the people at your network don't coordinate with the DNC or Democratic politicians. You had Democratic politicians allowing Stephen Colbert's staff to break laws in the Capitol. I mean, you couldn't get greater hypocrisy, but that's the way they roll. They're completely oblivious because they think they have a foothold. They think they have the American culture in the palm of their hands. They really don't, though. The Democratic Party, the reality is that they're barely surviving. It's a barely functioning political party. If you took away late night, you take away one of their greatest advantages. If late night was just Arsenio Hall and Johnny Carson and Merv Griffin, and you didn't have, like, every single night them going after Republicans and Trump. I mean, they obsess over Trump all the time. It's a national obsession. It is a national obsession. And if you didn't have that, like, that constant political advertising, where would Democrats be now? I mean, that's like a serious question. Where would they be? Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second, ladies and gentlemen. Where would the Democratic Party be without the Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, Stephen Colbert, and Jimmy Kimmel? Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, and pretty much what? Like every Seth Meyers, every late night comedian. It is like they work in unison. It's beyond First Amendment. There has to be some kind of like a campaign finance issue. If you're going to give free advertising, then go ahead, and that has to be part of a campaign structure. Alexander, hello. You can't just if you're going to be a network or a publication, and every single day in unison you're going to write Trump bad, Democrats good, Trump menace to democracy, Democrats good, without, I mean, all at once. It's not even like, this isn't just like, a couple of publications. It's like everybody, Vanity Fair, Esquire, New Yorker, New York Magazine, The Atlantic, Washington Post, New York Times. They say the same things all the time at the same time. They say the same things at the same time. I mean, how is that even possible? I mean, at the same time? It's like the Future song, at the same time. How is that even possible? And so you have a situation where this would be enough to absolutely... Could you imagine the Saturday Night Live skits? Could you imagine Jimmy Kimmel if it was Oz? And that's also the problem with you want to talk about American democracy. American democracy if there's a problem, the problem exists with journalists and media that side overtly with Democrats. Media should generally be apolitical. Media generally was apolitical about, 10 years ago? It was apolitical. You could look at, I have a CNN DVD of 2000, Bush v. Gore. You didn't see Wolf Blitzer crying when Bush eventually won. Okay, I think Bush is the worst president of all time. I think probably Mashed Potato Brains Joe will be second. But I mean, you look, it was an absolute train wreck. But it wasn't even a parody or some kind of dark comedy or a political comedy. Like, this was a terrible moment in modern political history. He didn't he have he defeated a Democrat in the primary. Okay, so why didn't he give that Democrat the mantle, or Detroit? Thank you so much, Detroit, Briz Boys. Thank you. Actually, one of the great names in this channel's history, I have to say. Dweez Droid. I've had some great names in this channel, Dweez Droid, but you are one of the great names. The Secret Spaceship is awesome. There's so many great names. Dweez Droid, thank you. Thank you so much to my super chat. I cannot do this without you, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you so very much. I'm just trying to find out. Okay, he defeated, okay, so he won the Pennsylvania primary, defeated Connor Lamb. Okay, Connor Lamb, Connor Lamb is a very good candidate for Democrats. I mean, this is like the AFC Championship game where the team that actually does win shouldn't be the team that would lose in the Super Bowl just because of home field advantage. So he beat Connor Lamb. Why didn't he give it to Connor Lamb? Okay, Connor Lamb's young, veteran. So Dweez Droid, thank you to my super chat. Thank you. I cannot do this without you. Why didn't Fetterman give it to Connor Lamb? He beat him in the primary. Just say, here, you know what? Look, I'm going through my own issues. I'm still recovering from serious issues. And DVK, exactly. And JK, exactly. I'm going through serious issues. I'm going to give you, Connor Lamb, the nomination. You can go ahead and win Pennsylvania for Democrats because I care so much about Roe and the climate and everything. But he didn't want to do that. No, that's the reason why. I'm not going to make fun of him or disparage him, but that's the reason why he's open to all of that. You went into the ring knowing that you could have just passed the baton to somebody, and Connor Lamb could have very well defeated Oz. This is the hubris and the arrogance and the narcissism and the elitism and the privilege and entitlement within the Democratic Party. They will not give up power. Even if they can't even coherently speak. And again, if you compare Fetterman to Herschel Walker, who was very effective in communicating his thoughts and didn't mash words together like Fetterman, you are a prejudiced, bigoted person. You are worse than anything that Trump has ever said. But again, you're talking to Democrats who they have a cloak of invincibility. made from their duplicitous sensibilities. They have this cloak of cognitive dissonance where they just can't possibly see themselves as anything less than morally superior. It was, you know what happens when you watch Mashed Potato Brains Joe, and he'll say something like, yeah, the economy was, and the economy is going, yeah, all right, and everything's going to be fine. But and so he'll actually veer off into one direction, and as a Trump voter, or as just a human being, you're like, wait a second, you're veering off into one direction, then you're coming back to your original thought. But still, I mean, that shows something there. Ricky, hello. Nikki, hello. That shows something there. It shows that, you're one fry short of a Happy Meal, or you're one beer short of a six-pack. I mean, they just get away with it. And they think that Trump Republicans are so horrible. And here's where the liberal sensibilities come in. They don't care. They think Fetterman's just fine. They think Fetterman is just fine. They don't even see it as like an embarrassment, as like really sad, a terrible moment in modern political history. They don't see it as that. Like, even to this day, Democrats could actually win Pennsylvania, and I'm not gonna they're not gonna listen to me. If he gives the baton to Connor Lamb, they'd have a better chance. But they'll never do it. He'll never do it. That's not the way they roll. Okay? You have people online saying, so courageous. So it's not courageous. You could have given it to Connor Lamb. Why didn't you? Oh, that's right, because you want absolute power. And this man wouldn't think twice, or maybe think once, about erasing the Second Amendment, even though he has firearms, sending Americans off to Europe. I mean, passing another spending bill that does nothing for economic growth. And so, I mean, it's just unbelievable. And you have this Real Clear Politics Fetterman up 1.3 points. Now that you're talking about early voting now. Okay? That was 10-19-10-24 before the debate. And there was a tie at the 19th. There is no way that Fetterman is up by 1.3 points. It's just not possible. I mean, it's not possible. And you can watch last night, I used the OBS, my channel is like not very, It's pretty low tech, but you could see, and I put the video up on the upload, and you can see the video of him saying hello, good night. I mean, he starts off with hello, good night. And if he wanted to say good evening, then he should have said good evening. Okay, so I hear like some rebuttals saying, well, he meant good evening. Well, then why didn't he say good evening? In America, we say good night, meaning good night, we're going to sleep, or good night, see you later. It's not like, if he wanted to say good evening, he would have simply said good evening. And it was so, like, his speech pattern was so labored, and it was so difficult for him to communicate. And he was combining words from one sentence with words from another sentence into a run-on sentence that made no sense, really, but you kind of understood what he was saying. So, I mean, you kind of understood what Fetterman was saying. It's true. It's just after being as generous as possible to him. And again, Do you think Saturday Night Live, ladies and gentlemen, you think Saturday Night Live, the cool looking owl, thank you. Do you think Saturday Night Live would, how do you think, Touch Brilliance, hello, how do you think Saturday Night Live would treat Fetterman, or no, would treat Oz or any Republican? But here, this is really important, ladies and gentlemen. This is 538. The math is fairly simple. If Democrats pick up a seat in Pennsylvania where Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman is favored to win. This was written, by the way, this was written on October 7th. Okay? Times have changed dramatically. Okay? Dweez Droid, thank you to my super chat. Thank you so very, very much. Joey, hello. This is really important. This is an October 7th article. The math is fairly simple. If Democrats pick up a seat in Pennsylvania where Fetterman is favored to win, Republicans will need two pickups to gain control of the Senate, Nevada and Georgia. They'll get Nevada. They don't even need Georgia now. They don't need Georgia because they'll get Pennsylvania. I find it very difficult for me to see Fetterman defeating Oz now after last night. Okay? I mean, even with, if you want to I find it very difficult. Even with, any possibility that exists, I find it very difficult. I find it very, very difficult. The people of Pennsylvania, not only inflation, crime, not only foreign policy, where we might send Americans to Europe, not only all, I mean, they are if you're in Pennsylvania, you vote Fetterman, you are on a mission to destroy your state. You are on a mission. Nothing will stop you. Nothing will stop this mission. If Fetterman loses, they'll need one of two. So if they get Nevada, and they'll get Nevada, Laxalt. If you look at Laxalt, he's up. Now it says 0.5, but it's not 0.5, okay? It's not 0.5. Because you have Vegas, Nevada, the people in Nevada, they want a great economy. It's very important. They're not as ideological. I mean, there are unions there that are important, so Democrats have a foothold in Nevada. But at the end of the day, if you don't have a good economy, people don't go to Las Vegas and Reno, and tourism is very important. Commerce is very important for the people of Nevada, and so they're not going to go and vote against their interests. So Laxalt will win. He'll flip that seat. And there you go. And there you go. So, but here, if Fetterman loses, they'll need one of two. According to our interactive, Republicans' chances of flipping the Senate go up to 56% if they win Nevada. So here, Nevada isn't that blue, so then they go on. I mean, Nevada is going to be key. But, I mean, again, you can have an upset. Blake Masters looks pretty good. To my super chat, I can't do this without you, ladies and gentlemen. Dweez Droid, thank you again. Thank you again, Dweez Droid. Then you have Kathy Hochul. I mean, you talk about privilege. Zeldin probably won't win because it's New York and it's Tammany Hall. And Democrats have a tight grip on political power in New York. I mean, this is like Tammany Hall style. But crime dominates New York gubernatorial. 5 takeaways. And Hochul said, "Why is that so important to you?" So, why is that so important to you? I forgot. I can't find the quote here, but if you look, that was one of the key takeaways here. Lee Zeldin, did a very good job. Okay? And you could tell, like Kathy Hochul, you could just tell, like, typical Democrat, entitled, just smiling all the time as if, like, they know something you don't know, and maybe they do. But G. Corber, hello. But it's like Arizona is now in play. Kelly Masters tied in Arizona, progressive poll. If Masters wins, they might not even need Pennsylvania if they get Nevada. So, I mean, this is huge. You can get 52 seats, 53 seats. It just depends on what it depends on. We didn't know of the Fetterman debacle. It was a complete and utter disaster. We didn't know that would take place, okay? We didn't know that would take place. But, it is less than 2 weeks away. Jewel C, hello. Jewel C, hello. Thank you so much. Jewel C, thank you so very much. Dweez Droid, thank you. To my super chat. I cannot do this without you people. If you enjoy these live streams, your support is greatly, greatly appreciated. Dweez Droid, Jewel C, thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Blake Masters, because Georgia, like I said, Georgia Republicans are pretty much worthless. And if Herschel Walker doesn't win Georgia, when we have a recession, inflation, crime, a terrible foreign policy, and you don't have Republicans doing everything possible to win Georgia, that political party there is pretty much worthless. And he's a Georgia Bulldog. And everyone in, like, all the top echelon, like, political people are Georgia Bulldogs or University of Georgia. So I don't get it, okay? But that's a whole other world. Georgia as a whole, the political party, the Republican Party there is not nearly as good as the Republican Party in Arizona. Although I think that Walker will win, actually. I think Walker will win. I don't see Warren. That's a red state. What part of red state don't people understand? It's a red state. See, again, Democrats have every conceivable advantage. So, Jewel C, thank you so much. Dweez Droid, thank you. Don Blue, hello. So, a new poll in Arizona, voted by Data for Progress, a left-leaning polling firm, shows that Arizona Mark Kelly is now tied with venture capitalist executive and Republican nominee Blake Masters. So, of course, this Fetterman ruined the chances of not just Pennsylvania Democrats, but Democrats around the country, because the veil was lifted off. The curtain was opened. Okay, the mask was pulled off. This is that. Fetterman last night was not a picture of courage. He should have given the mantle to Connor Lamb, or the Democrat that he defeated in the primary. That would have been courageous. That would have been that would have shown courage. But of course, you're talking about precious. They dropped that ring from Lord of the Rings. It's like it's a game over. They can't drop that ring. Do you understand? So, I mean, it's like they did this to themselves. Okay, Blake Masters wins Arizona. Laxalt wins Nevada. It's game over. Oz wins Pennsylvania, and then Laxalt wins Steppenwolf, hello. And then Laxalt wins Nevada. It's game over. Okay, that's like, it's 50-50. So, yeah, it's 50-50. So all you need is, you need Nevada. You need Nevada. If you flip 2, you can get, so that would be 52 seats. That would be 52 seats. If you get Oz, so Oz will win Pennsylvania. If you get Oz winning Pennsylvania, Laxalt winning Nevada, you flipped 1. And then you can get Blake Masters winning in Arizona, flip 2. That's 52. Then you can get Walker in Georgia, it's 53. You can get 53 easy that night. And that's with the House. I mean, impeachment is around the corner. They're going to investigate felonies. Not, what did he tried to pressure somebody to investigate poor old Joe. And could you imagine if we had those emails during the first impeachment? Could you imagine? They would never have gotten the impeachment through. President-elect, hello. Kelly is, I think that Peter Thiel will be a political genius. When this is all said and done, Peter Thiel is going to be a political genius. And let me tell you, Blake Masters, Old Town, hello. Blake Masters, just when you look at him, he doesn't look like this amazing candidate, but he's a very, very good candidate. He's a very good candidate. Oz is a very good candidate. Even though, like Masters and Oz, Laxalt is the best in terms of a political campaign, I think. JB, I know. But if you look at Blake Masters and Mehmet Oz, and you look at what they had to deal with, okay? And this is why social media means absolutely nothing when it comes to politics. It really doesn't mean that much. You look, and every day the past couple of months, it was, Fetterman burns Oz. Fetterman destroys Oz. He doesn't even live in Pennsylvania. Didn't even live in Pennsylvania. Oh. I mean, it's like every single Old Town, thank you. To my super chat, Jules C, Dweez Droid, thank you. Old Town, thank you. Greatly appreciated, people. Your super chat is greatly, greatly appreciated. Old Town, thank you so much. Thank you. Every day here, you can actually look. This is an interesting one. Okay, so you would Fetterman destroys Oz. Here, we'll just do that. Here, trolling along. Fetterman going big on social media versus Oz. So they live within a bubble. It's the Democratic Party bubble. So here you had celebrities go after Oz, and it's like, okay, it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't do anything. Because at the end of the day, if you have somebody who cannot communicate, what does it matter? Here's one. Dr. Oz, would you allow me to give your social media manager a raise? Oh! Like, this is what the Old Town, thank you. This is what they view as victory. Oh, we got him so bad. Oh, yeah. We got him so bad. They care about demeaning, and they're the ones who, like, they say that Trump, he removed civility from, they're the ones, I remember even, like, in 2016, they're the most vicious people online. So, you can look at here. This is what's news in America, okay? Dr. Oz is getting burned on Twitter. Oh my God, look how, like, they totally got him on Twitter. Oh my God, oh wow. And it's like, nobody reveres authority more than Democrats. So there was some, like, social media mishaps with Oz. But it's like, at the end of the day, you agree to a debate, and in Nevada, National Republicans exude optimism over Senate takeover. People are fed up. We have NBC News running these. Laxalt is running a very, very, very good campaign. Very good campaign. So, hey, be here, ladies and gentlemen. Be here. Be here, you know what? Every day from here on out, every day, I'll try to do 3 live streams today. We'll see. I will have a live stream at around 5:30 or about 6 p.m. Pacific. So, but you look, ladies and gentlemen, and it's like, Nevada is key. You're going to have a red wave in the House. It's very difficult not to. You're voting for the same. If you're voting for the House, you get to also obviously vote for the Senate. So you have a red wave in the House. I don't see how it's possible you don't have a very good night in the Senate. Whether you win by 1 or by 2, it really doesn't matter as long as you take control, because then you have control of the Senate. You'll have Rand Paul, you'll have Ron Johnson in positions of authority. They will be chairman of, Senate Intel Committee, Homeland Security. You're talking about the House, Jim Jordan as chairman of the Judiciary Committee, James Comer, chairman of the Oversight Committee. I believe I'm correct about the committees. Okay, Senate Intel Committee, you'll have a Trump Republican. So these are all good things, very good things. Then you go ahead and impeach. The impeachment is going to be 2023, ladies and gentlemen. 2023 is going to be, we're going into 2023 and 2024. People, do you understand? Do you understand how, I don't think that people in general understand the paradigm shift, how important this is. I don't think in general. I just don't think in general people really understand. This is going to be huge. And it'll be the first time in years that Democrats were actually on the defensive. Actually, it might be the first time ever, people. Exactly. Two Cup Gaming, exactly. This is the first time, ladies and gentlemen, Old Town, Jules C., Dweez Droid, thank you. To my super chat, I cannot do this without you people, thank you. This will be the first time ever, maybe, in recent memory, that Republicans were actually, that Democrats were actually on the defensive. Because what you saw with Fetterman last night is actually what you'll see with Hunter and Joe in terms of graft and felonies. They did commit felonies. Okay? You can't pocket money and give 10% of millions of dollars to Joe as vice president, which is what the emails actually... Here's the thing with Democrats. Their own emails do them in. Their own emails. Sure, 7318. Thank you. Joey, I apologize for that. I know. That's why I'm so long-winded. Steppenwolf, thank you. This is going to be huge. I don't think people really see it yet. Because the Durham probe's like, nothing's ever going to... I actually banned the word nothing. The only word I banned on this channel is nothing. So then people had to write, Eric H526, hello. Then people had to write, what you think will happen will not happen. Because they tried to write, nothing's ever going to happen. And then that didn't work. So then they're like, what? Oh, no. How do I say this? How do we rephrase this? The things you think that will happen, they won't happen. They had to be creative with the negativity. And you look, ladies and gentlemen, you just wait. Just wait until by the way, be here 6 p.m. Pacific, people. You just wait until the absolute meltdowns. Because here's the thing, Saturday Night Live, when impeachment proceedings take place, they're going to be caught between a rock and a hard place. Do they make fun of Joe Biden? Do they not? Who knows? And Biden and Democrats, all they do is lie. They said Trump lied. Nobody lies more. That running tally of lies from the Washington Post, if you use the same standard of measurement or the same manner in which they evaluated Trump's lies and utilize that to evaluate Biden's lies, you'd have 10 times as many, 3 times as many. Who knows? But they're going to be on the defensive, and then you're going to see some very bizarre behavior. They're already he's already saying, mashed potato brains Joe, that the economy is good. Okay? Economy is going to get worse. Economy is going to get worse. Not better, worse. The market is being artificially inflated because of the belief that interest rates won't be as high as the Fed won't raise interest rates as high as they think. So, but Boru, hello. You look, ladies and gentlemen, and this is going to be a very, very wonderful 2023. Going into 2023, it's going to be fantastic. I'm actually going to also try to open some more doors in terms of this channel. Maybe start doing more interviews. I used to do interviews or debates all the time years back. It was so much easier to do so because you didn't need the software and all of that. It's not that big of a deal. But I've just been a bit lazy. But I actually want to interview I would love to interview old WWE wrestlers like Jake the Snake or Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, I mean, it would be fantastic. So that's things that I'm thinking of, like branching out a little bit. But of course, my main focus, will always be politics. But you're going to have, look, we will eventually get over 200,000 subs. We're there. We're almost there. We're almost there. The Undertaker's awesome too. Yeah. Love Macho Man. Love Macho Man, and love Roddy Piper. You know what? The old WWF loved it, and then turned into WWE. But ladies and gentlemen, we have 10 minutes left. To my super chat, I cannot do this without you. Thank you so very much. Be here at 6 p.m. also, ladies and gentlemen. If you're free this evening, 6 p.m. Pacific. But yeah, I mean, you look at the paradigm shift. It's shifting towards, the paradigm shift is taking place, ladies and gentlemen. It is shifting towards Trump Republicans. Exactly, Boru, I agree with you. It's shifting towards Trump Republicans. And it is, I don't think people really realize that. I don't think people will realize until November 8th, because there's this feeling that Republicans or Trump Republicans have been on the defensive for years and years and years. There's not even an acknowledgement or a feeling that, hey, Trump defeated Clinton in 2016. Like, that victory seems so far away. It's just been endless apoplectic, hysterical, maniacal coverage of Trump. So it just seems that, the Durham probe was a disappointment. It actually was good in terms of the things that we found out, but it was a disappointment in many ways. And Carl, exactly. This will not be good. Last night was interesting. It was a debate. Last night was a debate that reverberated throughout American politics. It affected every single congressional contest. It affected every single congressional contest. Not just it didn't just affect Pennsylvania. Last night wasn't just about Pennsylvania. Last night was about what Democrats think of the average voter. This is what we're going to, instead of passing the baton to Connor Lamb, instead of passing the baton to Connor Lamb and saying, oh, okay, I can't do this, so here you go, which would have given Democrats, oh my God, a huge boost, because they would have spun it, oh, what a selfless, oh, it's so selfless, oh my God. Mikey, exactly. They would have spun that into, oh my God, what a selfless, beautiful thing. What a selfless, beautiful thing. JM! Goodbye, HA. Wonderful having we're... Oh, yes. Wonderful weather we're having. Yeah. JM. Thank you, JM. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. Thank you to my super chat. I cannot thank you enough. Hi, God Cake. Hi, good night, everybody. JM, thank you so very, very much. I mean, it was so, Scott, thank you. It was just so difficult to watch. Oh my God, it was so difficult. I do support fracking, and I don't. I support fracking, and I stand, and I do support fracking. Okay, well, what is it? He supports fracking? I don't know. I do support fracking, and I don't. I support fracking. And I'm not disparaging him. But he could have given the baton to Conor Lamb. He could have bowed out and had a Democrat, who was ready to actually run the congressional Senate contest. He could have said, you know what, I'll try again another time. But as he was talking throughout the debate, JM, that's right. I was thinking, it must be your JM, thank you. BM77, thank you so very much. Thank you, BM77, for being here since the beginning. BM77, thank you so very much, sir. Thank you. That's right, JM. I was thinking, I was like, wait a second, is he doing the impression? JM, thank you. He was like, DVK, thank you also. He was like saying, so the liberal sensibilities, they just repeat the same like complaints and grievances they have with Trump Republicans. So the interesting thing about the way Fetterman was speaking also, he was like, yeah, and and he just and he does this and that and this and that, and and the words were all garbled up, mashed together, but it was like the way he was speaking is the way every Democrat speaks. I mean, come on, we all know the way every Democrat looks at a Republican. We all know they're nuts. I mean, come on. But half the country doesn't think that way. And independents don't think that way. I mean, also he supports banning fracking, which that was something that was very like a big part. It was a pillar of Bernie's campaign. Now Bernie isn't talking about this. Here's the thing: he should talk about banning fracking. You know what? Let's ban fracking. Why not? Exactly, hotcake. Exactly. Every Democrat runs as a Trump Republican when it suits them. When it's right before, they people go to the polls, they're a Trump Republican. So, you see that they don't talk about Green New Deal. They don't talk about where has any candidate talked about renewable energy. They won't even touch it. They will not even touch it. Are you kidding me? They won't even touch it. I mean, it's like Joel Valdez. Hello, good night. Joel, I only have 5 more minutes. Hi, Joel. Good night. People were saying, well, you wanted to say good evening. Then why didn't he say good evening? Why didn't he say good evening? He didn't say good evening because he didn't do a lot of things. Fetterman's painful debate. And then, here's the thing also, it's like this entitlement. It's like, okay, I had this. It's like, okay, so why do you have to run? Is it a rule? What kind of law that says you have to vote for a Democrat who went through that? Amin Ra! Thank you, Amin Ra. Thank you to my super chat. Thank you. Amin Ra, thank you so much. Thank you so very, very much. I cannot do this without you, ladies and gentlemen. Your super chat support is greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you. Amin Ra, thank you so much. Thank you. I might miss some words during this debate, mush two words together, but it knocked me down, and I'm going to keep coming back up. Why didn't you give it to Connor Lamb? I don't understand. Why, though? You had somebody that you defeated in the primary. Just give it to that person. Joe Valdez! Potato brand. Joe Valdez! Can you imagine Joel Valdez, Amon-Ra? Biden campaigned for Fetterman. That's like R. Kelly campaigning for Andrew Cuomo. It's like, or Anthony Weiner. It's like, what? What is that? That's like E.T. campaigning for the monster with the ring in Lord of the Rings. Precious, precious, precious. Tanya, hello. Sky Queen. I'm going to keep going. Joel Valdez, Amon-Ra, thank you. He said other things too. God, he said other things. Where can I get the? Oh Lord, here we'll do this right now. Fetterman-Oz transcript debate. I know they're not even gonna it's not even gonna be the actual transcript, so we can. Let's see. For Fetterman, contentious verbal struggles. Okay, here, let's see. There's no way the Washington Post is actually going to... All right, hold on one second. Free Beacon. Fact check. 4 Clintons. That's so funny. This is the Washington Free Beacon. He gave 4 Clintons. Oh, that's good. That is good. Okay, this is finally we got some Democratic doublespeak or whatever. JM, imagine off camera because that's true. That's true. Okay, hold on one second. And again, I'm not disparaging anybody. He should have given it to Connor Lamb. He decided to do this. And it's like nobody made him do this, okay? This is not like the people of Pennsylvania, like Democrats think you're actually born, like, you are actually on this earth to vote for them, so you should just deal with anything. He's gone through a lot, so, well, does he have to? Do you have to vote for him? Is it a law? Am I breaking the law by not voting Democrat? On his health. My doctors, the real doctors that I believe, okay, they all believe that I'm ready to be served. Wow. Yeah. Oh my God. Again, I'm not laughing at him. Okay, I'm just laughing at the fact that Democrats don't seem to really care. On his opponent's house, he got his Pennsylvania house from his own inlays from $1. Okay. On his opposition to fracking, I do support fracking, and I don't. I support fracking, and I stand, and I do support fracking. He's coming at you every way possible. On the minimum wage, We all have to make sure that everybody that works is able to. That's the most American bargain. That if you work full time, you should be able to live in dignity as well. True. That's actually the most logical sentence, even though it's a bit bizarre on immigration. I don't ever recall on the Statue of Liberty, did they say, you know, take your tired, huddled masses and put them on a bus? Yeah! Oh my God! Take your tired. What's some? If you think they would care, you think they would not be happy going to Martha's Vineyard? Then the good liberals took them to a military base. Like, no, not, On college tuition, I just believe making it that much more. Okay, it costs too much, and I believe providing the resources to reduce the tuition to allow families to be able to afford it. Hey. The best is my doctors, the real doctors that I believe, not the fake doctors that other people believe. They all believe that I'm ready to be served. Served with what? A lawsuit? What? Again, not disparaging him as a human being, but I'm not disparaging him as a human being, but it's like, my God, like, is Trump that bad to you? Is he that bad to you? What happened? We had record low unemployment with Trump. My God. Of course, he held an innocent man at gunpoint. But that's the way Democrats roll. 4 Clintons. Biden drops $1 billion on electric school buses. Yeah, very good for when it rains. My God. You can't possibly do anything. Like, everything for Democrats is opposite day. Liberal pollster has Blake Masters tied with Mark Kelly. I'll be doing an upload on that. We'll do a live stream on that. Blake Masters he did run a very, very, very good campaign, Blake Masters. Very good campaign. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much to my super chat. Everybody here, Amin Ra, Joel, Dweez Droid, everybody here, Old Town JM, thank you so very, very much. Be here at 6 p.m., people. Be here at 6 p.m. I will have a live stream at 6 p.m., everybody. Thank you so much. I mean, the pendulum, if you don't think the pendulum has swung back to Trump Republicans yet, wait till November 8th. I mean, it's going to be one of the great days in modern American political history. Thank you so very, very much. Joel, everybody here. Eric, everybody here. Thank you so much, everybody. Dweez Droid.